Hello, my name is Georgianne Ford with the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, and returning to us, one of our attorney mediators today, Christine Lombardo-Zaun. Welcome back, Christine.
Hi.
Hi. Christine, topic today, probably something that's very helpful to just know that we've thought about, we want to know about it, having to do with adultery and the divorce.
Yeah.
So tell us
something. Yeah, I've seen the question pop up with some of my clients. I don't see that as often with mediation clients, but how does adultery affect divorce? So I did some research on adultery, and there was a professor from the University of Utah who I guess did like a 2-decade long study and found that 20 to 25% of married men cheat or admitted cheating, and then 10 to 25% of married women admitted cheating.
Did those numbers surprise you?
They did. They seemed a little low. And so I kind of dug a little bit further, and there's studies out there that show ranges of 40 to 60% of married people admitting to cheating. But you have to kind of parse through the numbers and say, okay, well, how are they defining cheating, right?
Yeah.
A kiss to one person is not cheating. Other people, that's cheating. A hug is not considered cheating to some, but it is to others. So, take those numbers for what they are.
Okay.
But the point is, what effect does that have on divorce in Pennsylvania? So in Pennsylvania, we have fault-based divorces and non-fault-based divorces. Most of the divorces that happen in the state are no-fault divorces.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, the fault-based divorces are like if people are abandoned, neglect. There's quite a few. I think there's 5 or 6 reasons in particular. Like you could go to a judge and say, look, this person cheated on me. I want a divorce. And a judge would grant that. But if you have assets together and you might be in need of alimony, then that's probably not the right way to go, because you don't want a quickie divorce. You want to make sure that you get your fair share of assets and alimony payments. So alimony is what we call spousal support, but just post-divorce. And it's not guaranteed. It's secondary to equitable distribution. So, a court will look at a couple's assets and liabilities, and they'll divide them up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Equitable distribution means fair. Doesn't mean 50-50. So a court will look at factors. Now, according to the statutes, a judge may not look at adultery when deciding equitable distribution. Okay? So they can't consider that. But they can consider it when they're looking at if marital misconduct was one of the factors, right? They can look at that when determining alimony. Especially if, let's say you have a couple and the one spouse was cheating on the other spouse and was using marital funds to go on excursions with their new girlfriend or boyfriend.
So quick question. If someone's filing for no fault divorce, the couple is, but that there was adultery involved, it's okay though, because this alimony situation would still come up.
It could come into play, yeah. If you have like a high income spouse, and then the other spouse was like a stay-at-home, I'll say stay-at-home mom because that's like your typical story. But let's say husband makes all the money and wife stays at home, and husband pays for all the bills and she has no income. That's a potential alimony case, because she's going to need that support to get her back on her feet again.
Right.
And if it's a long-term marriage, well, that could be years of alimony. Mm-hmm. Now, if you go through litigation, you've got to bring all that dirty laundry out on the table and talk about it. Mm-hmm. And not everybody wants to do that. But it can come into play, even with a no-fault divorce, when determining alimony. but then, like I said, it has to be brought up. And there are a lot of couples that want to maintain their privacy. And that's how they end up with mediation. Because with us, what we do is, first of all, it's private and confidential. But as a neutral third party, I'm not judging either side. And, I can make recommendations and then they decide what their terms are.
So when you say their terms, would that include alimony payment if in fact
Could be the amount and duration of alimony. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, what if I don't know if that's fair or not? Well, yeah, then you might have to go to a litigator and take it to a judge and have them decide. You get one shot at it. So it's best to, kind of peel the onion and, do it the right way the first time.
as an experienced mediator, I'm just guessing you would also know that, that's pretty accurate of what you'd probably would indicate for you to get alimony. I mean, you'd be able to guide a couple, not with also removing yourself from the partiality of it.
Yeah, I mean, we just, as a mediator, I take a different approach. I look at the big picture. I don't just look at one person's interest over another's.
Exactly.
And, usually the people that come to mediation, alimony is not necessarily their number one sticking point. And I explain reasons why we need alimony. It's not to punish the cheating spouse or the higher paid spouse. It's not about that. It's to help the other spouse get on their feet and establish a new lifestyle. And, I think a lot of people forget that, alimony is controlled. So if the person receiving alimony remarries or cohabitates with another person, alimony ends. And I think that's a good sign that it's not meant to, punish the payor. It's there to get that other person on their feet. Because, being married, we have a legal obligation to support one another. So I think people sometimes forget that. But I found it was kind of interesting.
Yep. I think too, it's helpful to know that people do go through mediation and do agree on alimony. I mean, that is,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
they don't want to air their dirty laundry. So
sometimes, the recommended amount is a good amount, and other times there's other factors that come into play that, they work out different arrangements, and it's best for the entire family, which I find to be very helpful.
Which is the purpose of mediation.
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Good topic. You know what? It was short, but to the point, and I think we know now, no matter which direction we went out of the two, you're still going to be talking alimony if in fact it's going to be helpful for the other person to get off the ground.
Correct.
Excellent. Chris, if anybody is interested in speaking with Christine on this topic further, or any questions of the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, please give us a call at 1-800-310-9085.